As
Hello.
connectivity and
There we go. I
did
wondered if you couldn't hear us before too.
oh
Weird.
oh wait, look, Marianne says my hair looks beautiful.
Okay.
I wonder if she heard the story about how it got there.
I can hear you. Finally they can hear us. Okay.
Yay.
Wow. This is weird technology stuff. Ah. Okay.
Because if she didn't hear the whole hair story, I can say it again.
So, I don't know if we're gonna do the whole hair story again.
Oh, I dyed it purple because I just couldn't manage anymore, and I needed to do something. And of course, the purple hair meant I had to go shopping for new makeup, which is all very essential.
Yep. So that's happening. We're still stuck in
Florence.
Beautiful Florence.
It is beautiful. Are you going to
Oregon.
show them how beautiful it is?
I'm gonna try. Let's see what happens.
See if anything will work right tonight.
Okay. So
I'll give you a shot. We're actually doing this outside tonight.
So if you notice behind us, we have
Whoop.
a fire, and we found out this new thing I can do with my phone. Here we go. We can switch to my phone cam. Ooh, switching to the phone cam. There's our camper. There's the Patty Wagon right there for you.
There's the top of my purple head.
There's Hannah. Okay. There's our campfire back there, and all the forest behind us.
Yep.
Ooh, forest. All right, so it's fun out here.
And there's our studio light in the corner.
Yep. If you want to see what our studio looks like, that's us right here.
Yay!
Yay! So, there we are. That was fun. Okay, so now what we were going to talk about tonight is
Bigfoot cover-ups.
yes,
Dun dun dun.
Bigfoot cover-ups. Dun dun dun. For anybody who hasn't seen this week, there's a whole lot of stuff going on the internet, and since we can't get out in the woods, we spend a lot of time on the internet.
My bum is killing me.
I know, it's driving me crazy. We've been going for walks every day, but there's only so many times you can walk around this campground because you're not allowed to go anywhere else. So
we almost snuck out onto the beach. Chicken.
I chickened out because
You did. It's $1,000 fine.
$1,000 fine to walk to the beach. So
Yeah.
what we're doing now is, if you haven't seen this, this guy has a YouTube channel called How to Hunt. He does a lot of videos. Let me tell you what he does. He does a lot of videos where people send him stories and he reads them out loud. And he says this certain phrase all the time, and I don't think a lot of people listen to him when he says it. He says it is what it is. And he also this week read a story that was supposed this inside underground information about the Patterson-Gimlin film and how they had shot, and this is not a new story. They said that Patterson-Gimlin had shot some Bigfoot before they filmed the Bigfoot film, and that they had and it's been covered up for years by John Green and a few other people. And I understand this story's been going around for a long time. Trust me, he's not the first one to ever say it. And
nor was the person who wrote in.
nor was the person who wrote in. This story's been out there for a long time. And you know, they talked about how this person can pass a polygraph test. Well, there's a reason that polygraph tests aren't admissible to court.
And I know this really well, having been in the courtroom a lot as a social worker, except in the great state of Oregon. Polygraphs are not admissible as evidence because the only thing you need to pass a polygraph test is to actually believe what you're saying. Mm-hmm. Because your body, a polygraph picks up body temperature, pulse rate, and all that stuff follows what you think is true. So if you are saying something and you truly believe it, your body will reflect someone that's telling the truth.
Exactly.
So a polygraph really is worthless because
really,
you know, any schizophrenic out there is going to pass a polygraph.
So that brings us to, is there FBI cover-ups? Ooh, dun dun dun. This is our FBI.
FBI covers up. So what? Oh, look at that.
Okay, so.
And no, Marianne, we're not talking about moo-moos for Sasquatch. Although at this point in time, a Sasquatch moo-moo, I think, would go like hotcakes, because everyone out there except for us has gained the COVID-19 and they need to wear a moo-moo now.
Hi, Renee. Renee McCoy. That's one of my old high school. In fact, maybe a high school girlfriend at one time.
I love meeting Scots high school people.
I
because,
believe it is.
Every one of them that I meet says, wow, I remember Scott from high school. He was crazy.
Yeah.
And all I can do is say, well, nothing much has changed in 40 years.
Not exactly. Okay. So what I wanted to hit on is during this guy's talk, he talked about how the FBI and the CIA and everybody's trying to cover up this Bigfoot stuff.
Yes, the UK and the Canadian American governments are all involved in a big conspiracy theory together.
So I can't say that they're not. And I probably won't say that they're not. And I'm not like this big government conspiracy theorist kind of guy. However, but I want to point a few things out. Government people have a purpose. People in government go into government for a purpose. And what that is
to serve the common good.
Wrong. No.
Hey, I am in public service right now.
I know, but it's not to serve the common good. It's to serve basically themselves, because, power. And power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Let me correct that then, because I tell you what, I had no power as a social worker, and I tell you I have no power as a public school teacher. Exactly. None whatsoever.
I know, because you're not in administration. That's the point. So the people that go into administration and go into politics and want to be elected,
want to empower their underlings.
No, not at all. No. So what I'm saying is there a FBI or CIA or government cover up of Bigfoot? Quite possibly there is.
Could there be?
There could be, and I'll get to I'm going to touch on a point later why that is. But it has been my experience that in the past I have had 3 occasions. Well, I can count 4 occasions. 3 occasions that I've got a lot of reports, and we figured out where Bigfoot was hanging out at the moment, and 3 times in a row over 3 different years, the Forest Service has done a controlled burn in the area that we were researching.
That's pretty consistent.
That is too consistent. Strike 3, you're out, buddy. I mean, that's one of the things. And the 4th thing is, what it was a local small town newspaper did a story on me locally about our research and what's going on and what we're doing out in the woods, and it had mentioned that I was open and free to take people out into the woods, and that I would gladly do that. Anybody who wants to go squatching with me, you can go squatching with me. That's fine. I don't care. Because the more eyes, the better off we are.
Yeah.
So, in fact, when I actually saw my first Bigfoot, I had a guy that I had just met a few hours before that I took out in the woods with me, and we accidentally ran into a Bigfoot. And it was the first time in my life that happened. And it was kind of nice to have somebody to share that with. So, that was cool.
Was either a genuine encounter or they were both bat crack crazy.
Yeah, exactly. So, but that's not the fact. But
so after you made that announcement.
So after I made that announcement, the state police literally came to my house, knocked on my door, and gave me a list of reasons why I couldn't take people into the woods. And they said, if you want to do that, you have to do this, this, and this, which added up to thousands of dollars to get the proper permits and the licenses and the insurance to take people into the woods with me.
To go hiking with people.
To go hiking with people, which was kind of interesting.
And it was within days of that news article, wasn't it?
It was. Uh-huh.
So.
She said it is. Hi, Renee. so there's that. So he also, the how to hunt guy, he also in his video, and he made a second one because the first one the audio was bad, so watch the second one. He talked about all these Bigfoot people.
Oh yes, some of our faves.
And he said that Bob Gimlin was covering up the fact that they shot a Bigfoot, and he's not the first one that said that. I think MK Davis said it too about Bob, and how John Green was covering it up and threatening people,
which is pretty consistent with personality reports about
yeah, which is consistent
kind of
with
his
personality. And you know, because there was a whole thing between him and Renee DeHinden that went on. They had this war going on for years. They're both deceased now, but Renee would show up at the Bigfoot conferences and just slam Krantz and John Green, and then there's a whole bunch of other people. You can look at the photos here and you'll recognize them. That he even talked about Jeff Meldrum and how Jeff Meldrum was part of the cover-up and a shill for the government. And I thought it was really interesting because he said that Meldrum was talking about how these things are gorillas and apes and stuff, but they're actually people. And trust me, I've talked to Jeff Meldrum about this, and he's well on board with the theory that they quite possibly could be people. Yeah. So a relic hominid, hominid like us. So a lot of that stuff in there probably is ranting, but that's okay. Here's the deal. You have the right to do that.
At least at this point.
Yeah, for now. But you have the right to do that, and you should be able to do that. And that's fine with me. In fact, like I said, he says in his videos, it is what it is. He takes the reports, he reads them, and a lot of them are possibly real. A lot of them are possibly not. We don't know.
Yep.
It's up in the air. So here's the deal. Take it for what it is. But I'll tell you what the real conspiracy is. Here we go. Here's the real truth. Here's the real conspiracy. Here's what's really happening.
Okay, lean in.
Lean in. Okay. You ready? You listening? Okay. If all these people here are fighting with each other, and all of us are arguing with each other and saying that no, Bigfoot's this, no, Bigfoot's that, no, this is this, and this is that, and I don't like you because you found this, and I found this, and you didn't.
And you're making more money than I am, so I don't like you, and I need to discredit you?
Yeah. Okay.
I wasn't directing that at anyone.
So that's the whole deal, folks. If the government is covering up, they don't have a lot of work to do. All they have to do is keep us fighting amongst ourselves and arguing, because then nothing gets done.
And all we do is go out and get more and more footprints and more footprints and more hair samples that turn out to be lichen.
Or hair samples that turn out to be Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Or DNA samples. We've got thousands of them. Or not thousands, I'm sorry, hundreds of them.
But the point is we've got thousands of specimens.
Yeah, we've got thousands of pieces of evidence. I'll guarantee you that. I don't know many Bigfooters out here in the world that hasn't cast a track. Literally. I am not kidding.
How many have you cast in the last year? 5, 6?
4.
Yeah.
4. So we've got tons of evidence, but what's it getting us? Bragging rights and being able to say I'm better than you because I found a footprint?
And a lot of really, really poorly presented reality shows.
Yes, and that's another.
Making crap tons of money, by the way.
And if you're watching these reality shows who go out and look for Bigfoot and blah blah blah, just remember their shows. And what's their purpose? Their purpose is to make money for the people who made them.
And actually, they are entertainment. And I heard gosh, we're stuck in one place with. I actually watched a documentary that defined the word entertainment, and that means to hold your mind. So remember, anything that you see, especially on mainstream media, is there to tell you what to think.
Exactly.
Including Finding Bigfoot, Expedition Bigfoot, all those things.
Yeah, all that stuff is just to make money, and they're just tagging on this research to do it, which is okay. I mean, they have the right to do that, and I'm all for it.
The How to Hunt guy, whatever his name is, because I never pay attention to that. The How to Hunt guy, he did bring up something. He said, was it him or was it another YouTuber? Anyway, they said, the government is excellent at the art of misdirection. So while we're busy watching all these Bigfoot shows and watching, Cliff and Matt and all the people do their thing,
and all the battles that go on,
and all those battles, what is that distracting us from? What are we not supposed to be looking at over here? This guy here, he's a magician. He taught me all about misdirection. So while all this big crazy stuff has and we could even ask that now, all this stuff that has our attention right now and has everyone in a tizzy, what are we not seeing over there?
Exactly. So
you're gonna have black helicopters here in a minute.
I know. They're gonna be tracking us down out here in the forest. So what I want to say is, what are they trying to cover up? What are they misdirecting us to? And it is my humble opinion, and this is my opinion and my theory, and it's backed up by a few other people who say it's a plausible theory, that Bigfoot is not an ape like gorilla ape.
That is a Homo species.
It's a Homo species. And if it is a Homo species, what happens when we find out? Now, this is something he read, that How to Hunt guy read. Gosh, I think his name's Steve.
It's probably not.
It's
sorry,
probably not.
How to Hunt guy. Sorry about that.
Yeah. But something he read in that is that they're people. And if that is the case, why wouldn't the government want to cover it up? If that is the case, and I'm not saying it 100% is, it's a theory that I think it is, because one, they walk upright, two, they have small canine teeth, which makes them a Homo species anthropologically. Okay.
His name is Steve. Thanks, Danny.
Thanks, Danny. So
I'm not doing a good job watching the stream tonight.
Yeah, so here's the deal. What happens if they are? Do we have to have treaties with them? What's that do to religion? No offense if you're religious. What's that do to do they need social security numbers?
Oh God, have mercy, no. I think they're doing just fine without that.
Do we need to grant all our public lands to them as their lands? Do they have a separate, since they're found on almost every continent in the world, now do we have to grant them their own countries on every continent in the world?
We see how that's worked with the indigenous people of this continent.
Yeah. Do we have to have a seat at the United Nations for them? So
there are reasons why they want to stay hidden.
Yeah.
And we've just named all of them.
Yeah. So what would that do to our society if our infrastructure, well, not our infrastructure, what's the word I'm looking for? If our economy crashes because people got sick, and
what's it going to do?
What's going to happen if we prove there's another species of humans on the planet?
Yeah.
So
Then that means that gal who came up and talked to you at the festival a few years ago saying she'd been having an affair with one is probably real.
Probably, I would think. It's not the first time. So
we just thought that was because of the sudden legalization of marijuana.
And another thing, I'm not surprised that the government doesn't already know. I'm positive they do. I mean, we've got stories about them finding Bigfoot bodies on Mount St. Helens. There's the stories about ranger teams going in and killing them when they were discovered, and blah blah blah.
And even just as simple as what you said earlier, I've gotten this report, 10 reports from this area, and boom, all of a sudden that's exactly where they have the controlled burn.
Exactly. So what happens if we do, the government does admit, I don't have to admit, I know they're real. And there's thousands of us out here that do know they're real. What's going to happen when it's public knowledge? Do we put them in zoos? Does the government do tests on them?
What? We've never put people in zoos or done tests on people.
Oh,
what are you talking about?
That gets me to my very next point. Can anybody out there tell me the date that the Mayflower landed on this continent?
Put it in the chat bar.
Put it in the chat bar.
I'm watching it. I'll watch it, I promise.
Okay. So here's what I want to tell you about. In August, and this is something that's taught in anthropology school. Anthropology 101, right here. You ready for this?
I've read this book. This is a good book.
There's a book. If you want to go out and read it, it is awesome. It's called Ishi. Okay. So in August of 1911, a starving Native American man walked out of the Butte County wilderness into Oroville, California, and became an instant journalistic sensation. Okay. Now this was a human. They knew Native Americans existed. They had for many, many years. They had since the Mayflower landed on this continent. They knew that Native Americans were a real thing. Now this guy walks out starving out of the wilderness in Oroville, California in 1911. My point is that's 1911. How long did we know? Since the 1600s? There's a hint. Okay, that Native Americans were real. What happened to Ishi? Ishi was a man who had never, ever spoke to a white man. Who had never been seen by a white man. His entire tribe hid from the white man from day one. They were extremely successful at it. But after a certain amount of time, their numbers dwindled. He was the last of his tribe. It was the Yahi tribe in Central California.
That is so sad to me. That just kills my heart.
They lived their old ways from the beginning of time. Their tribe, since mankind landed here in America, not white man.
1620.
1620. Okay. Since white man had been here, this tribe had evaded them.
So basically for 300 years.
For 300 years, this tribe stayed silent in the woods, just like Bigfoot. Bigfoot's been more successful. Ishi was the last one of his tribe, and he literally came down to a stockyard to kill a cow in the auction yard for food. He was starving. He was captured. They didn't jail him or anything. This is the interesting part. What they did was they turned him over to UC Berkeley. UC Berkeley anthropologist literally made him a zoo animal.
Yep. Look at the bottom picture.
In no uncertain terms. What they did was they housed him he wasn't locked up, but they housed him at the university. They found somebody who had a Native American tongue close to his. They were able to translate. They sucked him for every information that they didn't know. How do you hunt? How do you build I mean, they had the literal like find of an ancient civilization to be
It
able
was
to
a
ask them.
living archaeology.
Yeah.
Uh, uh,
What's the word you're looking?
what is the word when you find something in the ground? What's it called?
Artifact.
Yeah, it was a living artifact.
There you go. It was
Thank
a living artifact. And,
menopause brain. It's horrible.
And they studied him day in and day out until he died of old age. They literally made him hunt and they made him fish. Well, they didn't make him. They asked him to show him how to do all this stuff.
I'm just wondering if he would have rather starved to death.
I don't know. They carved
ethnographic study. That's how we frame that. Yes, I've studied ethnographic research. I've conducted ethnographic research. That's how we frame it to make it sound okay.
Yeah. So, yeah. So that's what they framed it to make it okay. So if we take Ishi as an example to what would happen to a Bigfoot, it's not good for the Bigfoot.
Well, and because Bigfoot by so many is considered non-human, they would not hesitate to kill, slaughter, dissect, live test, because we know that animal testing does go on. So animals have no rights. Why would Bigfoot have rights? And anyway, but in the end, Ishi didn't want to go back.
Yeah, I saw that. Bigfoot anthropologist. You and I need to actually get to know each other and talk. I'd love to get to know you better. But you're right. He didn't want to go back because he had nothing to go back to. Basically,
no
he was the last one of his tribe. His tribe was gone. He
says ditto.
What am I trying to say? He had nothing to go home to. The wildlife and stuff had pretty much dried up because of all agriculture and what the white man stuff had done and pretty much wiped it out. So I thought that was so that would happen to Bigfoot too. So what do we got to do next? I mean, what's next for Bigfoot research? Finding tracks, finding DNA, finding hair samples, getting photographs, getting video, all that stuff's been done. It literally has been done. We literally have the evidence. Finding more evidence isn't going to make the evidence we have more valid. I mean, you can argue that, but we have thousands, millions probably of footprint casts because there's a lot of people out there who just find them and cast them and we don't even know about it, I'm sure.
So we've talked about this before. The next thing we need to do is really start collecting narratives.
Exactly.
Not I found a footprint, but encounter narratives. We need encounter narrative after encounter narrative after encounter narrative. And we need to start tracking where and when and what the conditions around those were. And this is where my expertise comes in.
Exactly. And what is that?
Living with you.
Oh, exactly.
So actually, I wanted to throw this in there because it might be of interest to our viewers out there. I'm actually right now I'm putting together I don't know, it's like a course. Okay. Here's the thing. When people come up to us and they tell us their Bigfoot stories, their encounter stories, sometimes it's coherent. Most times we have to piece it together because they're so jumbled. And it was and that's actually one way that we kind of classify them. Is this one reliable? Is this one not? And the ones who have literally been rattled by the experience, we take a lot more seriously because it has shifted their paradigm so dramatically, and that's not an easy process to go through. And so I'm putting together like a 5-step course in how to write your Bigfoot encounter narrative in a way that's logical, and it kind of takes you out of the emotional feeling brain and puts you into the thinking brain so that you can I'm just going to say it, so that you can document in an intelligent fashion what happened, when it happened, how it happened, and then its effect on you. And that should be up and ready to go by the beginning of May, and we'll have signups, but it's a completely free thing. And not only will it be a step-by-step thing, but you'll have the option to submit it for review and discussion.
Exactly. And that's what we want to do. And so another thing, if you want to see who's putting out all this weird information, just follow the money. We don't want any money for this.
Yeah.
So
I mean, we love your money. Don't get us wrong, but you know. Yeah. But we are far more interested in research. So. Right.
So the Bigfoot anthropologist says that interaction, study them like Jane Goodall. Learn their language and their life ways.
That's going to start with narratives.
We thought about that, but we've got a couple stumbling blocks to get there. One,
where the heck are they?
No, one, we can figure out where they're at.
Yeah,
that's the thing. One, if we can get close enough to them to get those interactions happening. Two, if the government lets us get close enough to them for those interactions to happen, because I've almost been there, and then, like I said, they burn them out.
Just always at the most coincidentally.
Bad weird times. You know, because what we need is the people to put the pieces together. Like I said, once we can get narratives and be able to look at all these narratives and all collected in one place, that's the thing. Is for us to come together as Bigfooters and share
our stories.
The stories. Now, Steve from How to Hunt is doing that. He's already said, you know, he doesn't care about the footprints and all that other stuff either.
And I just wanted to, and by the way, the person who wrote to him and who sent him that letter, as he read her letter, I thought, you know. And I'll withhold the name. You can always go watch that video. But the narrative he read was jumbled and hard to follow, and it kind of sounded like a half crazy person talking, which is one reason why I want to help people get this down in an ABCDE manner, so that people can take a very difficult, profound, mysterious, life-changing experience and explain it in a way that is not off-putting, and that is not like, oh, that's just a crazy person talking.
Exactly. So I'm going to go back to this Bigfoot slide of the people. Now, all these guys sit and fought amongst themselves, and they still are today, the ones that are still around. And there's a new...
And poor Dr. Meldrum gets caught in the middle of all of it. Yeah. Because he's such a nice guy. He just wants to make peace with everyone and play nice in the sandbox.
He really does. Yeah. But here's the deal. There's a new batch of people doing the same thing. I'm not going to throw any names out there, but it's us. All of us. I'll just blame us all. There's this new batch of people that are doing the same thing. They're fighting amongst themselves. Therefore, we're not going forward. What we need to do is each and every one of these people in this picture around me,
the ones that are still alive,
well, all of them at one time or the other has had a piece of the puzzle. So if you take all these people who's had this piece of the puzzle and that piece of the puzzle and this piece of the puzzle, but I'm going to argue how better my piece is than yours, that's going to cause problems. But if we take all the people and take all the pieces and put them together and not argue about who found what or who's lying about this or who's lying about that, doesn't matter. If we get all these pieces together, we can come up with the narrative that we need.
Yes.
To go forward in this research, to say that's what these are Bigfoot. This is their language. This is their customs. This is their stuff.
When that happens, the ones who are lying or the ones who do not have a valid piece, those pieces, like, you know what, when you mix up pieces from a jigsaw puzzle, the ones that don't belong, it doesn't take too long to say, oh, that's not part of that puzzle, and you put it aside and wonder which torn up jigsaw box that came from.
Yeah.
But those will sort themselves out if we just start working together, for crying out loud. People, human, I ain't gonna do it. If you haven't watched I Ain't Gonna Do It, I ain't doing it. You gotta check those out. Are so funny. I ain't doing it. These people.
So here's a quote that I heard a long time ago. I used to do a lot of rock climbing and mountain climbing and stuff in my younger years, and this is from Sir Edmund Hillary.
Oh yes.
Oh yes.
Sir Hillary.
Sir Hillary. Okay. Anyway, we don't conquer the mountain. We got to conquer ourselves.
You know, I heard that all weekend in my webinars. Okay. I have been sitting in online training all weekend, and that came up over and over again. We are our own worst obstacle.
Exactly. So here's my thing. In my life, and I'm almost 60, I've run across a lot of people, and I've done a lot of work for a lot of people, and we've been in a lot of different groups and situations and stuff, because we've worked pretty much our whole lives helping other people.
Yep.
There is this thing that goes on in companies and corporations in the world, basically, is people are promoted to incompetence. Mm-hmm. There is a point in everybody's life where they decide that they know it. I got this.
It's called the Peter Principle, by the way.
I know. Yeah, I know where I'm at. I've got it. And,
yeah, The Office. That's right. And the entire show, that entire series is built on the Peter Principle.
It is. So what happens is, once you've got it, you don't want to accept anything else.
Because that means someone else might have
more than you. Yeah. So here's the deal. I have been kind of a weird, unique person my whole life. I have
trust. Yes, true.
I have always been the person who said, I don't got it. I will listen to everybody, and I will find the parts of the puzzle that fit together. And like I said, the other parts of the puzzle that don't fit, they fit another puzzle. Mm-hmm. So if we continue to be open about learning, and open about listening, and open about accepting other points of view, that just broadens our horizons.
It's about listening to understand, not listening to respond. Exactly.
And hence, we conquer ourselves.
That was my whole weekend. I'm serious. It's a whole darn weekend. But wow. Yeah, I've been sitting on my bum since Friday morning watching training videos. And they were awesome, but my bum hurts.
So I forgot to watch the time. Oh, we still got a little bit of time.
We've got a lot of time. We've got 14 minutes.
Start throwing questions for us in the chat.
Yes, I like what he said. It's what you learn after you know it all that really counts. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. Did you hear that?
What?
It's what you learn after you know it all that really counts.
It is. Absolutely. Totally agree. So,
and sometimes it takes knowing it all and realizing that you really know nothing at all.
Sometimes that slaps you in the face, and and then you learn the hard way,
and then you realize you've completely been going down the wrong path the whole time and have to make a massive shift.
Yeah.
Anyway, pivot.
Okay. So
I heard that a lot this weekend too. Pivot. Now I have to go binge watch Friends.
Yeah. Which CBS is streaming all week. So anyway,
hey, I know where my afternoons are going to be spent.
So here's our plan, and we've talked about this before, is we're taking Blue Mountain Bigfoot out of Oregon.
Yep, this summer is our...
That didn't sound right. We're not leaving Oregon. We're going to add the rest of the United States to Oregon. So
yes, Oregon. There is other country out there. We are not the only nation on the planet, although, well, whatever.
Yeah. So living the lifestyle that we do, you saw at the beginning of the video, our RV, and that's where we live. I mean, we live on the road. So
Sometimes we're parked for a while, but
yeah, like
now
locked in a campground for 30 days because of some virus. But anyway,
social experiment.
social experiment, and being a quarter mile walk to the beach and you can't go there. Okay.
You know, it's really horrible because sometimes we can even smell it. The
Yeah.
salt air comes in on the breeze. It's like, oh,
It's right there. But anyway, that anyway, so what we're planning on doing is taking this show on the road, and we may be coming to your town, and if you want to be a part of it, awesome, you're a part of it already. Boom. If you're watching it, you're a part of it.
You are a Patty Wagoneer.
You're a Patty Wagoneer. And what we're going to do is go from town to place when we're allowed to do so.
The summer will be the pilot.
Yeah, the summer will be the pilot. And what we're going to do is we're going to do what basically they kind of did on that TV show, Finding Bigfoot. We're going to do town hall meetings if we can, set them up, or just follow up on people's reports that email us reports. We might show up, knock on their door and say, hi, I'm here. Well, actually, we'll give them warning first, but maybe. But hi, I'm here. Talk to me. And we want to sit down and talk with these people. And we want to get all this information and start compiling a database.
And help them put those narratives together.
Yep.
I'm all about the narrative. I love collecting stories, so.
So, that's the plan, Stan, and we need all the help. We need the help from everybody who's ever saw a Bigfoot, believed in a Bigfoot, smelled a Bigfoot, heard a Bigfoot.
Found a cut off hand in the forest that was probably a hoax, but whatever.
Yeah. That's secret, honey.
I didn't say what forest. There's a lot of forest out there, isn't there?
There is. Oh,
in fact,
no.
there's a picture. There was a picture on the website. I showed you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not the first time.
It's not the first time. Let me see if I've got that somewhere for you guys. Oops. Why did it do that? I didn't want it to do that. Ah, we're going crazy.
He has lost track of his slides.
I am.
There's the intro video.
That's
not it. What are you looking for? See, this is what I live with all the time, folks.
Okay.
You gotta love him.
Well, I was trying to find something, but then apparently you can't just do that.
Apparently not.
Apparently not.
So.
But as I'm looking this, talk.
Anyway,
Okay.
As soon as the school year ends, for me that's June 11th. As soon as the school year ends, we are bugging out and spending the summer on the road, like completely on the road, assuming that we can.
Assuming that we can.
Assuming that we aren't stopped at state borders and county borders, because even in Oregon, even counties have locked down and anyway.
Right.
If you are part of the citizens' resistance that is actively protesting all this, we love you.
We do.
Not discounting the genuineness of part of it, but
Okay.
the overboard is
I'm
just
going to
ridiculous.
cover myself up, but
Oh,
there we go, people. What do you think of that? Just
Again,
saying.
location will be disclosed at a later date.
Yeah. But that's pretty interesting. Oops, I blacked out the wrong thing.
I will be honest, we can say it was found in in the Pacific Northwest somewhere.
There we go. So but with that kind of evidence, where does that get us? I don't know. We'll see. But there's a group out there who has this evidence, and that's all I'm going to say. I mean, they shared it on a group, so I got the photo.
Yeah.
That's it.
So 8 minutes down.
8 minutes down. Any questions out there? What?
No, someone's. Oh, we got Jeebus. We got what? Wow.
What?
I'm assuming to the severed hand.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, Terry says he'll hitch up his wagon. Let's have a Squatch America caravan. Okay, so part of our summer plans, I got to share this with you. Again, nothing here is sponsored. We make I think we've made what, $2.99 off of this through a super question. That's about it. And of course, right now, YouTube revenue is in the tanker. But we don't care about that so much. So here's the deal. So I had this brilliant idea for a side video series this summer. I'm not a beer drinker. I get a big kick out of what y'all are drinking there, but I'm not a big drinker myself. I grew up a teetotaler, so I had to learn to appreciate alcohol later in life, and I'm pretty narrow as to what my wine tolerance is. I do like an occasional glass of wine, and I know what I like, I know what I don't. So since we belong to the Harvest Hosts Network, and we've discovered this, the wineries are great to stay at, and I thought we could do a Patty Wagon wine tour. As we go from Harvest Toast to Harvest Toast, we just do a whole video on, again, assuming things open up, because you can't do this now. You go into the winery and we could video the wine tasting and feature, give them shout outs. I just think it would be so fun. The Patty Wagon wine tour. What do you think?
Along with the Bigfoot. Evidence tour.
So if you come on the Squatch America, because that's what we are solely becoming, is we're transitioning from being Blue Mountain Bigfoot Research in Squatch, Oregon to Squatch America. If you want to come along on the Squatch America caravan this summer, you can be part of the Patty Wagon wine tour.
So, yep.
So that was my idea.
So, we're not getting that.
Yes to the wine. I knew, Danny. I knew you would approve.
Yeah. So, by the way, we're going to be in Southern California later on this summer sometime.
Anyone on SoCal there? Yeah, that's our first stop. The minute school gets out we are headed to the Santa Clarita area. It's by Six Flags. I've got family down there and friends I haven't seen in 40 years or whatever. Anyway, we thought we'd start there, work our way north, and then work our way east.
Exactly. So we're gonna do that this summer.
Danny says that's me. Danny, I forgot where you're from. Type in where in Cali you are.
He's from the Bakersfield area.
Bakersfield. Hey, that's not too far from Santa Clarita.
Yeah. See, it says.
Oh, there we go.
45 miles east of Baco. We're going to be there. We're actually going to be spending
the night.
We
were in Tulare.
We're going to be in Tulare. So.
Yeah, at an orange farm.
Yeah.
You know what? I do miss the citrus from California.
So maybe we could meet up with some of you people out there.
Yes, let's have a meetup. We'll announce it. All right. And I owe you a date to Six Flags anyway. Actually, your son owes us a date at Six Flags.
Squatch America Tour California. There we go.
I had this great idea for Squatch America also. I'll share it another time because now we're down. Oh, we still have 4 minutes. I had this idea that we could put together a panel and go from community as Squatch America and go from community to community. They could organize their festival, Patty Wagon Wine. Yeah, I know. We could, they could organize their own festivals, but they could do all the groundwork for the Squatch America in this town, Squatch America that town, and we come in as a panel to do all the speaking and stuff. So it takes all that off of them having to secure their own speakers, and we just offer like a package to Bigfoot groups who want to do a Bigfoot festival.
Yeah. We could do that.
We've been event planners for a long time, so it's like totally fun and up our alley.
Like I said, you don't have to, and we don't have to charge people for it,
or not, not like pro speak. And we are making headway on figuring out how to broadcast on the internet a Bigfoot conference. We're getting closer. We've made. That was one of the reasons why I went to this whole training weekend. It was for something else I'm doing, but it showed me how to make it happen so that like the whole nation could attend Blue Mountain Bigfoot Festival online. So for little to no money.
No money. Yeah, that's what we're working on.
Donation by donation.
Yeah. No, we're not asking for donations.
No.
But what we're.
But we will take them.
Okay, her maiden name's Berkowitz, so we'll go from there. All right. But I'm in it. I'm in it for the research part.
And something that Steve, the How to Hunt guy, his name is Steve. He said it was kind of something that spoke to both of us. What he was saying about some of these Bigfoot personalities you see, he said, follow the money. How much money are they making from this? Because they've tried to shut him up too. And he said something really telling. He said, if they really are secure with what they have, if they are really confident in what they have, anything coming out of my mouth should mean nothing.
Exactly.
And it means nothing to it. I mean, we're not threatened by that at all. You know, you can say it is what it is.
It is what it is. You know. So to coin his phrase.
To steal his phrase.
It's
phrase. Not even his phrase.
Yeah. It's not. It's been around forever. But there's something that you just triggered in my brain. Now I forgot because I have old brain. But yeah, where are we at?
We're at a minute.
Okay.
So with all that said, thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate. There were 19 of you on there tonight.
So thank you.
And that's awesome. If you liked the change in time, please let us know. We did that to accommodate our East Coast viewers. And it's actually nice to be able to come outside and do it in the daylight. And it's better for me because I'm not an evening person at all. But thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, share. Actually, that's the biggest support you can give us, even though there is no YouTube dollar coming in right now. The more you after the video posts, share it, comment on it, do all those things. That does more for us than anything else. Get us out there.
Yeah.
Be our ambassadors.
Yeah, so we can start gathering this evidence.
Yeah.
So, with that said, thanks for watching.
Keep it squatchy. We'll see you next time in the Patty Wagon. Bye.
Bye.